You're listening to the Murder Speaks podcast, the show that spills the tea about true crime. Here's your host, Wendy Hinbest.
Hey, welcome back to Murder Speaks. I hope you guys are having a great week. So today's real crime story is about 24-year-old Heidi Bernadzikowski of Baltimore, Maryland. Heidi worked for a health insurance company. She lived in a townhouse in Dundalk, Maryland, with her boyfriend, Stephen Cook. April 20th, 2000, 29-year-old Stephen Cook comes home and finds his girlfriend, Heidi, dead. She was strangled and her throat was cut. So Stephen calls 911.
Okay. I got a kid stay with you. I gotta go to the
Is there a weapon near her?
No.
Her body was propped up against the wall, and there was a number 1 written on the wall in lipstick. There was no sign of forced entry, and there was no weapon found. They find DNA under her fingernails. Stephen tells police that he picked Heidi up from work and dropped her off at home. He seemed to be upset. The police find out that he got insurance policies on him and Heidi about a month before she was murdered. Her policy went into effect days before she was murdered. However, his insurance policy wasn't activated. The DNA results come back with nothing. Apparently, Stephen had filed bankruptcy. Heidi was the one paying the bills, but his sister does not agree.
That's so untrue. So untrue. My brother's smart. He's intelligent. He'll get this job. If I don't like that job, he can quit that job and get another job tomorrow.
Neighbors tell police that there was a man with a dark complexion hanging around Heidi's house a few weeks before her murder, which leads police to 19-year-old Terry Gilliam. Somebody said they saw his car in front of her door. He was a meat cutter, and he had a tattoo on his left forearm. When Heidi described him to police, she told police that the person had a tattoo on their forearm. Terry's time card from work had handwritten scribble on it the day of the murder. He takes a lie detector test and gives them a DNA sample. He passed the lie detector test, and his DNA was not a match. Heidi's parents sued Stephen Cook under the Slayer's rule for the $700,000 insurance payout. Under the Slayer's rule, anybody who intentionally causes death to the insured cannot collect the life insurance benefits. Stephen wanted to settle with the family. He moves on with his life and marries his girlfriend. The police learn that Stephen's and Heidi's relationship was going bad. He declared bankruptcy about a month before she was murdered. Apparently, Stephen was very controlling. Heidi was getting ready to leave him. She borrowed money from friends to move out. In 2011, 11 years after Heidi's murder, the police tried to test the DNA through CODIS, Combined DNA Index System, and the DNA belonged to Alexander Bennett from Colorado. He goes to Denver School of the Arts. He was an opera singer, and he has minor arrests on his record. He has a tattoo on his left forearm. He was light-skinned. He was walking along the highway at night, and the police picked him up and dropped him off at Heidi's home. He tells police his friends ditched him at the airport, and he was left on the streets of Baltimore with no money and nowhere to go. The police tell him his DNA was found under Heidi's fingernails. First, he tells police he doesn't know her. Then he tells police that he was fighting her at a bus stop.
There was a woman at the bus stop. She was just very belligerent with me. She's like pulling on my shirt, and I got kind of scared. I was trying to fight back, and I think I hurt her.
The police bring Grant Lewis in for questioning.
I think you know a little bit more about what's going on in Baltimore than just something happened. In fact, I'm sure of it.
Well, I know something happened, and I think it was definitely, he told me it was something bad, and I did tell him I don't want to know.
Grant Lewis is Alexander's best friend. Grant Lewis agrees to testify against Alexander Bennett. Grant Lewis's ex-girlfriend calls police and tells them that back in 2000, Grant told her that he sent Alexander to kill a woman in Baltimore. Grant Lewis puts an ad on the internet for professional, discreet cleaning. Turns out, Stephen Cook hired Grant Lewis and Alexander Bennett over the internet to kill Heidi. Apparently, Stephen Cook and Grant Lewis met up and agreed that Alexander Bennett would kill Heidi for $60,000. Grant met Stephen at the house. Stephen had the locks changed to the house and left a key for Alexander to get into the house. The day Heidi was murdered, Stephen dropped Heidi off at home, knowing Alexander was inside waiting for her. When Heidi got home, she saw Alexander and panicked, so he killed her. She scratched him on his face.
At that point, I didn't know he was deceased. That's when I had the knife and cut her throat.
He tried to make it look like a robbery. Then he wrote the number 1 on the wall. June 2015 at trial. Stephen insists he's innocent.
I'm testifying because I want my family and friends, and I want Heidi's family and friends to know the truth. And for 15 years, they haven't heard the truth. For 15 years, I've been blamed for something I didn't do. I didn't kill Heidi. I didn't have anything to do with Heidi's death. I didn't pay anybody to kill Heidi. I didn't ask anybody to kill Heidi. I loved Heidi. I wanted to marry Heidi. I wanted to have a family with Heidi.
Stephen Cook's cellmate talks to the police. His cellmate tells police that Stephen Cook wants him to kill Grant Lewis.
You know this is going to happen this week, right? Listen, you get past today or tomorrow. Just do it. You just tell me later. All right. I trust you. Okay. You owe me.
Cook is found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. Grant Lewis is found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. Alexander Bennett pleads guilty of first-degree murder and gets a plea deal and is sentenced to 30 years. Wow, he pretty much sent her to the lion's den. She trusted him. He was her boyfriend. And he dropped her off at home, knowing the killer was inside. And how dumb can you be? You get an insurance policy on her and yourself. You activate hers, but you don't activate yours? That doesn't look suspicious at all. He's exactly where he needs to be. Well, thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, please share it. Sharing is caring. And if you are a true crime addict like me, check out my store, crystalkiss.com. That's Crystal with a K for some murder merch. Free shipping on all orders. And you can use discount code MURDER15, that's MURDER15, and save 15% off your entire order. Start killing it with Crystal Kiss murder merch. Also, check out my YouTube channel, Crystal Kiss, for more real crime stories. And check out my other YouTube channel, Wendy Boo, where I like to play games. Join me again on Murder Speaks. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening. Bye.